I was diagnosed with aura headaches, so what I want to do today is talk a little bit about what they are, what it involved for me when I was diagnosed with it, what the specialists wanted to put me on in terms of a plan and medication, and kind of what I do now to manage it going forward, and the signs and the symptoms that I get before one comes on. If you do suffer from migraine headaches, then I'm hoping that this video might be a bit of information about them. But equally, if you don't suffer from migraine headaches, then actually I just think it's worth knowing anyway, because I didn't suffer from migraine headaches either up until about, I would say it was about 3 years after I was diagnosed with MS. And then it just came on quite suddenly, and it's never been a thing that's gone away. And actually it's one of the things that really hampers me when I do have it, and completely wipes me out, knocks me for six. You know, I was bedridden for most of this 3 weeks really, and they're the things that people don't see. They're the things that are so invisible to other people. So about 3 years after my diagnosis, 2009, about 2011, I started to just get vertigo. Really how it started was that I felt my head wanting to explode. But the weirdest thing is that I never had a headache. It just felt like there was this ache in my head. And you know, I could shake my head back and forth, and I could feel like the pain inside my head, but there was never any headache. And I would feel like this for like a week or so. And sometimes I could feel like it for a couple of days, like leading up to what would then be absolutely exhausting fatigue. I mean, I'm talking about I'm totally out of it, in my bed, can't even imagine doing anything, you know. Don't want to talk to anybody, can't think about getting up to get a shower, can't get dressed, can't literally do anything. Probably would have gone the whole week not eating and drinking, because just the thought of getting up to do anything, that's what it feels like. That is what my fatigue feels like. Anyway, I went off and had all these tests done, and they couldn't really work out what it was. I had eyesight tests done because I thought maybe there was something wrong with my eyesight, but that was all fine. I had hearing tests done as well. That was all fine. And eventually they referred me to this amazing guy who literally, I feel, has like turned my life around, and he just knew straight away. He seemed to know what it was after asking me so many questions about, you know, what my symptoms were and how long I'd had it, what I experienced, and those kind of things. He decided to start me on something called Topiramate. I think it is also known as Topamax. Some people might know it as that more than Topiramate. It is the only medication that I am on. It is the only medication that I can't come off, because at one point I tried to, and it wasn't a good idea. It all came back and it was a bit of a mess, and yeah. So I started taking 25 milligrams a day, every day. And within about 2 weeks of taking the tablets, I couldn't believe the difference in how I was feeling. And then obviously progressively through taking them more and more, there was just such a dramatic change in my migraines and how less they were happening. We then upped the dose to 50 milligrams a day, and then I went from having migraines every month to hardly having migraines. I would then say about every 6 months. Then about 2 years ago, my migraines have started up again, like really, really bad. I would say that I'm back to having a migraine probably, I would say every month, if not every 2 months, without fail. And it was to the point again where it was like almost, hate using that word, but disabling, because you can't do anything. And then with this migraine comes this horrible fatigue that knocks you. I feel like the life has been sucked out of me and I don't have anything left. And then it's like my body has to recover for a whole week afterwards. I don't know why it's even happening. I never really got the explanation of why it happens. If anybody has that explanation out there, please share it with me. To cut another really long story short, I have now been put on to a higher dosage of Topiramate. So I've gone from, because I went to go and see the doctor about this, and I've basically gone from being on 50 milligrams a day to being on 100. She put me on 100, but even that wasn't enough. So I've now gone on to 125 milligrams of Topiramate a day, which, to be honest, I never ever thought that I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see the day that would happen, because it's the only thing that can control my migraines. And again, the doctor was asking me, was there anything to do with my eyes, any problems? But it all comes down to this problem with the headaches. And because she knows that I have MS, then she just thinks it's all neurological and to do with my MS. We can't blame MS for everything, but MS, I am blaming you for this because I think it's your fault. So this is the most important thing that I want anybody to take away from this video, is that if you start feeling like you are having these, first and foremost is please obviously go and seek medical advice and go and get them checked out, because it's so important that you do, because there is definitely medication out there for it. The second thing is that if you do get diagnosed with headaches or aura headaches that leave you with fatigue, and that you will know this, and you'll know because you'll start understanding your body, and your body will have a routine after a while of what happens, is that you almost have to set yourself time aside for however long you generally know that it's going to start happening. You just have to rest. You have to let your body rest and recover. I mean, half the time you don't even have a choice anyway, because like your body doesn't want to do anything, you don't want to do anything. It's almost like you have this mental, physical block on your whole life for about, not your whole life, but for about 2 or 3 weeks from whenever this decides it wants to go. Absolutely avoid alcohol or caffeine or anything like that can trigger more sort of stimulation in the brain. And I get so much fluids into me before. Like if I know it's coming on, I will drink so much water, and any fruits with like high water content as well, and just drink that all the way through, because it almost feels like my brain's thirsty. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but it does. It just feels like my brain is thirsty. The sleep as well, and if being in a dark, cool room helps, that's always a good thing too. And maybe just kind of shut off from phones and TVs and anything like that, and just try and keep yourself and your body and your mind calm. When you start feeling better, which you'll know, because like myself, I will know instantly when I wake up if my fatigue has started to lift, if my headaches have started to lift. then don't rush back into doing crazy things. Like, still take things easy, because even though you think you've got a full tank, you probably haven't. Sorry, one last thing I forgot to mention as well is that before I was offered the treatment of Topiramate, my MS team told me to take aspirin for my headaches. That could be because it works quicker and it's more effective in helping with headaches. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what they suggested. So obviously, if you don't have access to Topiramate, then aspirin is something that they recommended for me. I think I should just mention about the Topiramate, because not everybody can tolerate certain medications. It does come with obviously side effects. I know that quite a few people have tried the Topiramate and they've not been able to tolerate it. It's quite odd because I can't tolerate stuff like gabapentin and pregabalin, but yeah, I'm fine on this. But one of the side effects is that it does make you lose weight, and not just a little bit, like quite a lot. And that did happen with me. But I think there's like different types of medication out there. So if you do want to sort of speak to your medical team about this medication or other medication, then you have to find the one that suits you, because not obviously every medication is going to work for everybody else. But as far as I'm concerned, this has helped me. I feel that if I hadn't have had Topiramate, I think I would have just probably carried on down that road of just probably having bouts of this migraine and fatigue and being bedridden like every month. Maybe it would have got worse, I don't know. The only thing that I will say is that it is getting worse. It is actually, the frequency of it is not getting worse, but the severity of it is getting worse, and that for me is a little bit worrying. But I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, if any of you have any questions about the medication or about the headaches or anything, I mean, obviously, what can you cover in, I was going to say 20 minutes, but it's actually 30 minutes. What can you cover in these videos when you've lived a life of 8 years with something? Not really much, but like I said, if anybody has any questions or anything about it, then please ask away. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy the weather, if you like that kind of weather. But if not, then I hope you're all looking forward to having a